ladies and gentlemen, there's something that happened yesterday, and I know many Kenyans never came out understanding why was that this East African president that William Ruto invited during the yesterday's Jamhuri Day celebration, they never came out. But some of them came out just sending their representatives. When you look at Yoweri Museveni was invited. But what I saw and I listened to yesterday was that there was a representative that was sent from Uganda. When you look at also Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, was also invited. But at the same time, now, the president of Rwanda never came out sending the representative. But according to the news is that William Ruto had invited Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda. The same is happening with the president of Tanzania. That is Samia Suluhu. Samia Suluhu also, we are being told that she sent that just her representative, but she never came to, or rather, she never came out honoring the invitation of William Samoei Ruto. The same happened to Somali. And also, the same thing happened to Ethiopia. I don't know if Ethiopia is East African or not. I don't think if it is East African. But Ethiopia was invited. But the person that was sent to represent the president, the prime minister of Ethiopia, was the president. So I want us to dig in why these East African presidents are feeling like they are being sabotaged with what so-called the spirit they are having about Pan-Africanism. But at the same time, William Ruto seemingly like is a person that is so much endorsed in West countries. But when it comes to Africa, and especially in East Africa, you look at the criticism that Samia Suluhu had during the climate summit in Tanzania, where East African had their representation, and of course William Ruto also represented the East Africa, some of the conversation in Dubai and also in India. But when you look at the criticism that Samia Suluhu came in with, she said that enough is enough. It is the time for East African, or rather the African countries, to come out and understand that it is their time now to do whatever it is right of them. And in any case, they are still waiting for these West countries to at least give them money so that they can solve their issue of climate. They're going to wait until Jesus Christ come back. But this was the criticism of Samia Suluhu. After that, I want you to understand that also, when you look at the criticism that Yoweri Museveni, who is the president of Uganda, has been always criticizing these West countries, you will understand, ladies and gentlemen, there's something that is very complex here that I want you to understand. Yoweri Museveni has been always in the context of criticizing these West countries. But it seems like William Ruto is the man that is being praised by these West countries. In other words, William Ruto is doing something correctly that the West wants. But when it comes to Yoweri Museveni and other East African presidents or African presidents, it seems like they are criticizing too much these West countries. In other words, they are disagreeing with them. So William Ruto is the ambassador and darling to these West countries. But other presidents are feeling like it is the time that Africa must develop on their own. They must not come out to depend too much when it comes to the West countries. Yoweri Museveni is coming out to narrate something that was very shocking. I want you to watch. Yoweri Museveni says that during the corona time, there was this issue of manufacture of sanitizers. And Uganda was manufacturing sanitizers. It was only East African country that was manufacturing the sanitizers. Yoweri Museveni is saying that when West countries realized that Yoweri Museveni's country was producing, or rather manufacturing sanitizers, West countries came out saying no to that process and project. But Yoweri Museveni on his side, he came out that the process was to go on. The country is the president of the Republic of Uganda. No one should come out and criticize him. And Yoweri Museveni came out saying
that the foreigners have failed 2 tests, according to my assessment. Number 1, they have failed my tribal test. Because in my tribe, there is no way you can say that because I have a problem, I don't care about my brother who also have the same problem. No way. In my tribe, it can never happen. Yes, I have a problem, but if my brother has a problem, I will share the ritual I have with him, sort of my problem, but also address his. This is my tribal code. And this was tested when the corona was starting. Because here in East Africa, we had the problem of sanitizers. Ugandans drink a certain strong gin from bananas called waragi. It's a strong gin, they normally poison themselves with it, and they like it. But that gin, if you distill it more, it produces a very good sanitizer. So when the crisis started, only Uganda was producing sanitizers in East Africa. So some of my people said we should not allow East Africa to import the sanitizer because we need it. I said no. In my tribe, that's not allowed. What you should do, you can say you keep like 40% for yourselves, but let the 60% be shared by the East Africans. That was my tribal constitution. I cannot. So the foreigners have failed. Zero marks on my tribal code. But they have also failed on the Christian. You remember, I had a rumor that there were Christians in the world. That's what we hear. We hear that there are Christians in America, there are Christians in Europe, there are Christians. These people have failed on the Christian test. So we are going to look for the vaccine for the short run, but also they have failed on the test of strategy, because we now know that they don't care about us. Thank you very much. Yes, some of us may die, but our children will now know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the way these East African presidents, they've come out to criticize the West, is that these presidents are reading different line with what William Ruto is reading. William Ruto is a president that now is ambassador, and of course is the projection of this West in Africa. So when you look him coming out to endorse several things that this West are doing, and even you can see the way the Republic of Kenya is, where when you look at the certain policies in terms of the economy of the Republic of Kenya, you will understand that William Ruto is seriously adopting the policies that he has been given, or rather he has been directed to do, or else he miss, of course he's going to miss the funding, the support, the donation, loans, all those kind of things. You saw just the other day in Uganda, when Uganda came out rejecting the new culture that is being forced to their culture. And Yoweri Museveni never came out stating and responding to that and he said that he was not going to accept that because them as Uganda, they have their own culture. So for them, they cannot come out to adopt whatever they don't know how things are. So when you look at William Ruto, is so adamant when it comes to what should be actualized as Africans, and especially because we are having also a bloc called East African community, you will realize that these presidents are coming against William Samoei Ruto. And even they don't want to associate themselves with William Ruto because William Ruto is deceased now. William Ruto might come out affecting them with the decease of West. But because William Ruto seems like benefiting a lot, which I don't know how is William Ruto benefiting, because he always do things relating to the policies of these people. So it is a clear indication that when you look at the invitation of William Ruto, where these presidents never came out attending the Jamhuri Day, I know some people might say that okay, is okay. They might be engaged somewhere, but the reality is, if William Ruto is a good president, that of course conveys and read the same line with these presidents, condemning these West countries, then these presidents, they will always come out and work amongst themselves in a good way. But when look, William Ruto is being criticized even in certain meetings that he is attending. So in reality, Kenyans, something that is being unmasked here is that William Ruto is not a man that is going to, like a warrior of Pan-Africanist. He's a man that always say that I'm a Pan-Africanist, but the reality is he's reading a different context. You know, he's having different line with these other African presidents. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much because of the support. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video.